10 best PS3 games you can still play in 2026. Remember the PlayStation 3? For a lot of us, the PS3 was one of the consoles that defined an entire generation of gaming, and even though the PS3 is now almost 2 decades old, there are still a ton of games on this console that are absolutely worth playing in 2026. Some of them still look great, some have incredible stories, and some are simply games that you can pick up today and still have a lot of fun with. So today we're counting down 10 of the best PS3 games you can still play in 2026, and stay until the end because number 1 is a game that I think still holds up incredibly well even today. Let's get started. Number 10, MotorStorm. Starting our list at number 10 is MotorStorm. If you want something completely different from the usual action and story-driven games, MotorStorm is still a really fun choice. This game is all about chaotic off-road racing. You've got motorcycles, ATVs, rally cars, trucks, and other vehicles racing through some absolutely insane environments. And the best part is the sense of chaos. You're not just driving around a clean racing track. You're crashing into other vehicles, jumping over hills, taking shortcuts, and trying to survive the entire race. For a PS3 game, the physics and destruction can still be surprisingly satisfying. It's definitely worth checking out if you're looking for a classic arcade-style racing experience. Number 9, Infamous 2. At number 9, we have Infamous 2. This is one of those PS3 games that I think deserves much more attention. You play as Cole McGrath, a character with electrical powers who can basically turn the city into his playground, and that's what makes Infamous 2 so much fun. You can climb buildings, jump across rooftops, grind along power lines, and use different electrical abilities against enemies. The game also gives you choices that affect the story. So depending on how you play, you can take Cole down a more heroic path or go completely evil. And honestly, just moving around the city using your powers is still incredibly satisfying. If you never played Infamous 2, 2026 is definitely not too late. Number 8, Metal Gear Solid 4. At number 8 is Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots. Now this one is especially interesting because it's one of those games that feels like a true PS3 era experience. Metal Gear Solid 4 continues the story of Solid Snake and brings together a huge amount of the series' story and characters. If you're already familiar with Metal Gear, there's a lot here to appreciate. The game mixes stealth, action, cinematic storytelling, and some absolutely memorable moments. And yes, some of the cutscenes are extremely long, but that's also part of what makes Metal Gear Solid 4 so unique. It feels less like just playing a game and more like experiencing a giant interactive action movie. If you're a fan of stealth games or the Metal Gear series, this is still an important PS3 game to experience. Number 7, God of War 3. Coming in at number 7 is God of War 3, and honestly, this game still looks impressive. God of War 3 puts you in control of Kratos as he takes on the gods of Greek mythology. The scale of the game is ridiculous. You're fighting massive creatures, giant gods, and enemies that make Kratos look tiny. The combat is fast, violent, and extremely satisfying. And even though newer God of War games have completely changed the formula, God of War 3 still offers something different. It's more straightforward. You fight, you explore, you solve puzzles, and then you fight something absolutely massive. If you want a classic action game with incredible set pieces, God of War 3 remains one of the PS3's best. Number 6, Batman: Arkham City.
You are still outside, Mr. Cobblepot.
At number 6, we have Batman: Arkham City.
No problem.
This game basically showed everyone how to make a great superhero game. You play as Batman inside Arkham City, a massive prison city filled with criminals, villains, and some of Batman's most famous enemies. The combat is still incredibly satisfying. You can counter attacks, chain combos together, use gadgets, glide around the city, and investigate crimes. And the villains? You've got Joker, Harley Quinn, Penguin, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, and many more. What makes Arkham City hold up so well is that it doesn't feel like you're simply playing a Batman game. It makes you feel like Batman. And that's something that not every superhero game manages to accomplish. Number 5, Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. We're now entering the top 5, and at number 5 is Uncharted 2, Among Thieves. If you want a game that feels like you're playing through an action movie, this is one of the best examples. You play as Nathan Drake as he searches for a legendary treasure while getting himself into one ridiculous situation after another. The game has shooting, climbing, puzzles, exploration, and some incredible set pieces. And despite being a PS3 game, the presentation still holds up surprisingly well. The characters are also a huge part of the experience. Nathan Drake, Sully, Chloe, Elena. The chemistry between these characters is one of the reasons the Uncharted series became so popular. If you somehow skipped Uncharted 2, don't let its age stop you. It's still one of the best adventure games on the PS3. Number 4, The Last of Us.
Don't matter. We know
At
where to
number
go. Let's
4
get
is
the
The
hell
Last
outta
of
here.
Us. This game doesn't need much introduction. Released near the end of the PS3 generation, The Last of Us pushed the hardware incredibly hard. You play as Joel, who is tasked with escorting Ellie across a post-apocalyptic United States. But this isn't simply a zombie or survival game. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is what drives the entire experience. The gameplay mixes stealth, shooting, exploration, crafting, and survival, and the atmosphere is still incredible. Even if you've played the newer versions, going back to the original PS3 release is an interesting way to see just how impressive this game was for its generation. If you're looking for a story-driven game, this is absolutely one of the PS3 games I'd recommend. Number 3, Red Dead Redemption. At number 3, we have Red Dead Redemption. This is one of those games where the age really doesn't matter. You play as John Marston, a former outlaw who's forced to hunt down members of his old gang. And what makes Red Dead Redemption special is its world. You can follow the main story, but you can also spend hours just exploring. Ride across the desert, hunt animals, play poker, meet random strangers, get into trouble, or simply ride your horse while listening to the soundtrack. The atmosphere is still fantastic, and the story is one of Rockstar's strongest. If you've never played Red Dead Redemption, the PS3 version is still absolutely worth experiencing. Number 2, Grand Theft Auto 5. At number 2, we have a game that might surprise some people. Grand Theft Auto 5, yes, GTA 5, originally released on the PS3, and somehow this game is still being played more than a decade later. The PS3 version obviously doesn't have all the improvements and features of the newer versions, but the core game is still here. Los Santos, Michael, Franklin, Trevor, the massive open world, the story, the missions, the ridiculous things you can do. And that's why GTA 5 deserves a place on this list. It's one of those games where you can start playing with no real plan and somehow spend hours doing completely random things. For a PS3 game, that's pretty impressive. Number 1, Sleeping Dogs. And finally, my number 1 pick, Sleeping Dogs. Now, this might not be the first game that comes to mind when someone asks about the best PS3 games, but that's exactly why I think it deserves the number 1 spot. Sleeping Dogs puts you in the role of Wei Shen, an undercover police officer who infiltrates the triads in Hong Kong, and the setting is one of the biggest reasons this game is so memorable. The city feels alive. You've got busy streets, markets, nightclubs, shops, alleys, and tons of things happening around you. But the combat is what really makes Sleeping Dogs stand out. Instead of simply relying on guns, the game focuses heavily on hand-to-hand combat. You can punch, kick, counter enemies, and use the environment during fights. And honestly, the combat can still feel incredibly satisfying. Then you have the driving, the missions, the story, and the overall atmosphere. It's basically an open-world crime game with a martial arts twist. And even though Sleeping Dogs was released back in 2012, it's still one of those games that I can easily recommend to someone playing on a PS3 today. If you enjoyed games like GTA but want something different, give Sleeping Dogs a try. You might be surprised by how good it still is. Honorable mentions. Before we finish, there are a few more PS3 games that deserve an honorable mention. Killzone 2 for its intense first-person shooting, Resistance 3 for its excellent campaign, Little Big Planet 2 for its creativity and multiplayer fun, Ni no Kuni: Wrath of the White Witch for RPG fans, and Ratchet & Clank, a crack in time for anyone looking for a great platforming and action experience. The PS3 library is honestly much bigger than this top 10. So there you have it. 10 PS3 games you can still play in 2026. And honestly, this list shows just how strong the PS3 generation really was. Even after all these years, there are still games on this console that are worth going back to. But now I want to hear from you. What's your favorite PS3 game? And which game do you think should have been on this list? Leave your answer in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gaming content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.